Episode 17, The Distribution of Credit. We are sometimes told that in order to break the monopoly which the private banks hold on credit creation, it is merely necessary for a public bank to create and lend money on more favourable terms. But what if this isn't true? According to the social credit analysis of Major C.H. Douglas, not to be confused with Chinese social credit, the economy actually requires that a certain proportion of the money supply be created free of debt and injected as a free gift if it is to function properly. In other words, whatever its other tasks, a national public bank must not only create and inject its own money, but money of a radically different kind, debt-free credit. By creating and then distributing just enough debt-free credit in the forms of a national dividend and a national discount, a national credit authority could solve the problem of the gap and enfranchise the consuming public as the true beneficial owners of the economy's real capital. The nature, volume and allocation of this compensatory credit are all based on one fundamental social credit principle. If our financial system is to function efficiently in the service of the common good, it must faithfully represent the physical facts of economic life. In other words, the money system should reflect reality. If the available flow of production, for example, has already been paid for in full by the community in physical terms, and this would have to be the case, otherwise no production would exist, then the community should be able to pay for that production in full in financial terms, without having to earn more money via additional and usually superfluous production, especially capital production and production for export, as well as wasteful government projects and works, and without having to borrow additional credit in the form of consumer loans or lines of credit. This is simply a requirement of equity, of calling a spade, and of accurately registering on the financial plane the corresponding physical reality. A second requirement of equity is for the community to distribute this money directly to consumers or on their behalf. This would reflect the fact that the common consumer, via his stake in the God-given natural resources of his country, his partaking in the unearned increment of association, i.e. the benefits of group association, and his share in the cultural heritage, i.e. the technical legacy of scientists, engineers, inventors, organisers, etc., is the rightful beneficiary of society's real capital. Enthroning the interest of consumers as paramount will ensure that while the economy's surplus production is distributed and producers are always able to cover their costs, consumers will be able to access the goods and services they need to survive and flourish on the most favourable of terms and with the least amount of labour and resource consumption. Breaking the bank's monopoly of credit in this manner would go a long way towards eliminating or at least significantly mitigating the usual concerns which monetary reformers have with respect to private banking. The centralisation of wealth, power and prestige in the hands of financiers. In contradistinction to many of the other monetary reform proposals that are out there, the social credit proposals would also entail a number of other knock-on benefits. Absolute economic security for every citizen in place of poverty and the threat of poverty. Increasing leisure in place of civility, i.e. freedom from wage slavery, debt slavery, and useless, witless and/or destructive employment. The elimination of society's chronic and unrepayable debt burden and the interest charges that accompany it. The elimination of economic waste and sabotage. Continual reductions in prices as technology improves instead of inflation. Much lower taxes. Much less government regulation and interference. Economic cooperation instead of ruthless competition. Social stability and the end of mass migration. The transformation of civilization based on the unfettering of the creative impulse and the flourishing of both folk culture and high culture. Environmental protection, conservation and repair, and mutually beneficial international trade providing a sound foundation for world peace. Whatever is physically possible and desirable should be financially possible. All that is required is to alter the financial system so that it accurately represents the physical facts and potential of the real economy. This animated series was sponsored by the Clifford Hugh Douglas Institute for the Study and Promotion of Social Credit. For more information on Douglas Social Credit, please visit socred.org or socialcredit.com.au. Be sure to like this video and please subscribe to our channel.